From his rematch with Johnny Lawrence after beating him in the All-Valley tournament, to floating the idea of a Karate Kid reboot revolving around his favorite character, Mr. Miyagi, this is Ralph Macchio revealing his favorite fight Karate Kid moments, starting with the showdown that got him really excited. It has to be the fight between Daniel and Johnny in the Cobra Kai series, because it wasn't just about nostalgia. It had lots of consequences for the characters. It was really important to play it from the perspective of what the characters' stakes were and trying to do what's right for the kids in the show. They tried to make it look like how the younger generation would fight, instead of how they did it back in the day when they faced each other in a Karate Kid. Thankfully, it turned out to be an awesome moment, especially because it came from Johnny and Daniel's perspectives, and at the same time, it came from their perspective. It was a perfect mix of the original characters and newer ones introduced in the show, like Solo Naraduina, Tanner Pukkanen, Mary Mauser, and Pete List, all of whom also left a lasting impression through their acting skills. But one of the moments that stood out to Macchio was Ailey's transformation in the series. He started by being bullied, but gradually gained the confidence to stand up for himself, with Johnny Lawrence as his sensei. Not only that, he helped bridge the gap between Miyagi-Do and Evil Fang dogos, becoming one of the best fighters in the whole cast. Along the way, he also fixed the relationships he damaged, showing both the fierce hawk persona and his more honorable side. He admired Jacob Bertrand's character, and how beautifully he managed to include martial arts into his performance. But when it comes to his favorite karate moves, he loved his iconic crane kick from the original movie, which has become synonymous with Daniel LaRusso, even in the Cobra Kai series. He highlighted Bertrand's ability to effortlessly transition in and out of character, drawing a comparison to the late Pat Morita's and his portrayal of Mr. Miyagi. Now, with the release of Cobra Kai on Netflix, fans can dive into the intense fallout from the All-Valley tournament once again, as Terry Silver sets out to expand the Cobra Kai empire, and Johnny Lawrence tries to repair the damage he caused. LaRusso faces his toughest challenge yet in Cobra Kai Season 5 as he fights to prevent Terry Silver from taking over the valley. He even shared some exciting insights about the upcoming season, and when asked about his favorite moments, he couldn't choose just one. He did mention a funny and dramatic scene that stood out to him though. In one episode, Daniel finds himself in a wild situation after he gets pulled out of a limo by none other than Mike Barnes and Johnny. He liked this scene because it captured the unique tone of the original Karate Kid perfectly. There is another emotional scene where he enters Miyagi's old room at the house, after which Amanda and the kids enter the room to show their support. He thought this scene mimicked the original movies beautifully, where Daniel was the young protagonist. But when it comes to his return to the franchise, he opened up about what drew him back. For starters, it was the show's unique connection with viewers, his experiences playing both the protagonist and antagonist in the same project, his favorite moments as Daniel LaRusso, and his admiration for his co-star William Zabka. He also gave lots of respect to Martin Kove, who portrays the menacing John Kreese, saying it was great to work with him again on the show, reflecting on the way Cobra Kai brought back beloved characters and captured the nostalgia of the original films, while also delivering a new kind of feel. He agreed that he was skeptical about returning to the franchise at first. After all, he was getting pretty average pitches over the years, but he was won over by the passion the show's creators had, who proved to be die-hard fans of the Karate Kid. Macchio even complimented their dedication to making a show that not only honored the legacy of the films, but also appealed to a new generation of viewers. You see, one of the challenges he saw was finding the right tone for Cobra Kai. Both he and the network executives were unsure about how to strike the right balance between drama and comedy. But the actor trusted the creators' vision and their ability to deliver a show that could bring back old memories, while also talking about issues like bullying. The positive reception from both fans and critics is a testament to the show's ability to exceed expectations, considering that it initially premiered on YouTube, a platform that was still establishing itself at the time. It's clear that he loved the direction Cobra Kai took and how it focused on exploring the perspectives of both Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso, blurring the lines between good and evil. This allowed the show to maintain the core elements of the Karate Kid while introducing a new side of the characters. When asked about his favorite scenes to shoot in the second season of Cobra Kai, he said the intense confrontation scene with Johnny Lawrence, the one after their dojo, was vandalized. He talked about the emotional weight and intensity of the scene, which left a mark on its viewers. Other than that, Macchio highlighted another scene set in a restaurant, where their characters showed hints of understanding and potential friendship. I mean, not only did he love these interactions between the characters, but they also had a huge part in the massive appeal the show has had. Besides, he has always admired William Zabka as an actor, to the point that he honored his wish to explore his character further. After all, who can deny that he effortlessly added depth and layers to his character, showing how it grew over the years and transformed after his loss at the All-Valley tournament in the original Karate Kid. But as much as he loves how he handled his character, he also loved how Martin Kove did justice to John Kreese, the ruthless sensei who had a major impact in the original film. He's also worked with him on the HBO series The Deuce, in which he played a dual role as twin brothers. He described it as an enjoyable departure from the world of a Karate Kid, allowing him to explore a different side of his acting abilities. As for Ralph Macchio's character in Cobra Kai, is it possible for him to return for the next Karate Kid movie? Well, Sony surprised fans by announcing a new movie that's being planned for June 2024, but it's been confirmed that this upcoming movie won't be connected to the Cobra Kai sequel series, in which Macchio reprised his role alongside William Zabka. The actor talked about whether Sony had approached him for the new film or not. While he did acknowledge being occupied with finishing work on Season 6, he also admitted that he hadn't yet thought about the future. But he's still open to returning as Daniel LaRusso if that aligns with the direction of the new movie. More specifically, he said that he hadn't taken his phone off the hook for anything that made sense. Sure, he might be locked up with a Netflix and Sony contract for finishing out Season 6. So after what's happened these last couple of years, he can't predict what that future will be, but he's still open to that idea. He thinks not doing that would be unfair to his character. As for how the new Karate Kid movie will connect to the original films, there's a possibility that they could build a story around Daniel and Johnny's kids. But that's just speculation right now, because we don't even have a trailer yet. There are two other possibilities though, one involving a franchise reboot, or a continuation of the original films. But both options will be challenging, considering the franchise's history and the success of the Cobra Kai sequel series.
And since the points get higher in each round, it's still any dojo's game. So you keep your eyes on this here blue mat.
After all, the 2010 reboot with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith failed to connect with fans, so maybe making a second reboot isn't the brightest of ideas. Besides, making a legacy sequel that ignores Cobra Kai's events would be unfair, because the series has a loyal fan base and has already established a pretty solid storyline. Interestingly enough, Macchio himself has suggested the idea of a prequel, which dives into the origins of Mr. Miyagi. It'd work because it can give us a deeper understanding of this character, while also avoiding the challenges associated with all the other options. Either way, whatever Sony ultimately decides, Macchio is up for it if his character is chosen to be a part of it.
How are we doing here?
We're still in second overall, but we have 3 fighters still alive. We just need one of them to advance and we can take the lead.
Come on, Chris. You got this.
All right, guys. Score's 2-2. Ready?
So, from floating the idea of a Karate Kid reboot revolving around his favorite character, Mr. Miyagi, to his rematch with Johnny Lawrence after beating him in the All-Valley tournament, this was Ralph Macchio, revealing his favorite fight Karate Kid moments.